Let's make it a good day.
Coming up, leave Britney alone. She's finally speaking for herself in court. Plus, Hollywood's all-time perfect movie is Perfect No More. Then, they are America's Stone Age family, and they're back. Find out how we are all returning to bedrock. And what were we thinking?
Oh my God. Are you gonna yell at her first, or am I going to yell at her first?
You go first.
Okay, and then you can yell at her.
Ted, Kendall, and I take a dance fitness class, and it goes about as well as you think it would go. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Oak Grove. Good morning, St. Peter. And good morning, Hudson. And good morning to you. Welcome to the Jason Show. I'm Jace. Please say hello to my sidekick sister from another mister and America's favorite Olympic artistic swimmer, Kendall Mark, everyone.
Jason, that's not a thing.
Artistic swimming?
No.
Yeah, if you had to watch, I would encourage you to watch yesterday's show. There was a little thing at the end, a little joke at the end. But yeah. Anyway, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. The sun is out.
Finally.
Lord Almighty.
I know. Finally.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, but I have felt like I've kind of lived in Seattle or Portland or something.
Without the warmth.
I know. So my mother, because she still is regulating her temperature. She was from Louisiana. So I should just, instead of Cody or Keith Marler, we should just keep track of how many layers Dar has on for the temperature.
How thick is that blood?
How exactly? Maybe 4 layers today. She's a 4-layer kind of Wednesday.
Not bad.
Speaking of people I love, I want to say, now look, if we did every birthday shout out that we could, this hour would be nothing but a shout out fest. But every so often, I want to point out a certain person and their birth. Today's one of those days. I want to say happy birthday to my Fox 9 News colleague and dear friend, Karen Scullin. Now, there's 2 reasons why I'm pointing out Karen, or as I just call her, Scullin. Everyone calls her Scullin. First of all, let me compliment her. That woman right there, she's one of the best, period. Stations now, they're hiring 14-year-olds. I mean, they get out of elementary school and stations hire them. Live, I'm Britney. But that's what stations are doing. That right there is an adult. That's a journalist. That's a broadcast journalist. That's a grown-up. That's a well-sourced grown-up. When you watch Karen on a scene, don't mess with her.
No.
Because she'll bite you. She'll take you apart. And so when we watch her, you trust her. She's the best. We're lucky to have her on our team. And she's not 11. Anyway, and number 2, and I love her, and she's a dear friend of mine. Number 2, Karen Scullin has the honor, and I think we're the same, in my mind, the honor. We experienced my favorite moment of live television ever in my 20-whatever years I've done television. I used to anchor the news. If you're new to me, you're new to the show. I know that shocks people. But I used to anchor the news in the morning. And Karen was filling in one morning with me. And no one else was working. It was like, was it Christmas? Thanksgiving. And it was just Scullin and myself. And Dale K. You guys know Garden Guy Dale K. Was he live, Jeff? I always forget this. No, he pre-taped a piece on last-minute centerpieces that if you're scrambling on the morning of Thanksgiving and you needed a centerpiece, these were things in your cabinet that could make a centerpiece.
So good.
So they run the package. We call them packages. Karen's like, here's Dale K. And we go to the story, and in the story, our beloved Dale K is pulling everything out of the cabinet that he can think of to try to make a centerpiece. And I love Dale. But as we're watching it, it was the ugliest thing we've ever seen in our life. It had lima beans and kidney beans.
For real.
What was it, Jeff? Candle. It was a candle with leftover pinto beans in it in the middle. And Karen I'm looking, how were we sitting? It does, oh, Karen's over there. I'm looking at Karen and we're guffawing, like not a little laughing. We're like on the floor laughing. And in our ear is our producer, Jeff. And Jeff goes, guys, we're 20 seconds away. We're going to be back live in 20. Get it together. Meanwhile, he's laughing too, because even Dale knew this thing. It looked like a horrible home ec project gone bad. And we come out and we couldn't get a hold of ourselves. We must have laughed for 2 minutes on the air. And then we had to read what we call the tag, which is for more information on Dale, and we couldn't get it out because every time we would think of Dale, we would think of that horrendous lima bean, pinto bean centerpiece and to this day, we laugh about it with Dale because even Dale knew. He's like, well, you go into the cabinet and you get whatever you can get. It was horrendous. And that's why I love Karen Scullin. Happy birthday, sweetie. Let's get started, everybody. It's time for the hot dish. Roll it, Leo. The court will finally hear from Britney Spears herself, in that ongoing legal battle over her conservatorship. Yesterday in court, her attorney requested that Britney be allowed to speak for herself. The judge said, okay, sure, yeah. Setting the hearings, that's going to be in June. This will be the first time in years Britney has stood before the court. Her father, Jamie, you guys know this, has been part of her conservatorship since 2008. Just think about that for a second. We've gone through several presidents following her mental breakdown. In the meantime, while Britney awaits to address the court, she's doing a lot to stay busy, including this.
Okay guys, so I'm here in my kitchen today and I'm gonna make my first delicacy sandwich. 15 years ago, I used to go to a place in New York City called Shalatsky's Deli Sandwiches. It was literally God to me, and 15 years later, I'm still in search of a sandwich that tastes just like that. So this morning I decided to get up and try to create a sandwich just like that for this summer. Okay, so we'll start with my favorite type of bread. It's called artisan ciabatta. Okay, so now here I have a little bit of goat cheese, just a little bit, and some almonds, and I've cut them up. And actually both of those together are very, very good flavor.
That's her Instagram account. And that's what worries me. Look, I could put in a snarky comment here, but I try to watch myself because when someone reveals that they've had mental health issues, they don't need a moron like me on a goofy show making fun of them. I show that only because as a fan and as just another human being walking around the earth, I have eyes. Something just seems off. You know what I mean? And I hope the people around her are taking actual care of her and not taking advantage of her. To me, it seems like, and Lord knows I'm not a doctor, but it seems like she's almost regressing. You know what I mean? Which is understandable. Because if you've had the life Britney Spears has had, where you've been removed from childhood and adolescence and thrown into a career, you've had no adolescence. It's very much like Michael Jackson in that sense. Why wouldn't you? I mean, that's trauma. Why wouldn't you regress? I feel awful for her. But she claims she's all right. Yeah. So you got to take her at her word.
Yeah, I look forward to her having her day in court. She's been wanting this, and we'll be able to see her then talking. Well, we won't be able to, but she will be around and she will be heard herself.
In court, not on Instagram videos that are open to speculation and at times ridicule. Next in the dish, Kyle MacLachlan. You know him from Twin Peaks, Sex and the City, Desperate Housewives, Portlandia, was on with Colbert last night. And apparently Kyle is, listen to this, just like us, big on the TikTok. He explained how he does it. Look at this.
There's really just one simple rule you have to remember. Men of our age don't dance on TikTok. And that really, if you follow that rule, you'll be fine.
What do you do on the TikTok? Because I thought dancing is what I was supposed to do.
Well, yes, I agree. I do a lot of kind of reference to roles that I've played, spoofing, Cooper and the mayor of Portlandia.
Piece of pie.
It's all in, good fun, all of that sort of stuff. So that's kind of it. I've got something, I was just shooting something this afternoon, kind of an Elizabethan style thing. I rented a costume from Western Costumes, and it's a whole Elizabethan thing, and I'm doing kind of a Shakespeare thing, sort of a bad Shakespeare thing, because the wine is pursued by bear. It's a stage direction from Winter's Tale, so there's a little Shakespeare tie-in there. It's what we have. It's all I really have left is TikTok as a creative, as an actor. That's sort of where that's what I have.
That's
See, that's what we're missing, Kendall. We need to
sad, but
rent costumes. Maybe that'll get us more followers.
We should-
Elizabethan costumes.
Yeah.
Can you see Ted putting Ted in a Victorian outfit?
in tights.
There's followers right there.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle has 147,000 fans on TikTok. Jeff's like, maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
We've seen him in tights.
yeah. Next on the dish, it's a sad, sad day for fans of Citizen Kane. For decades, it's been called the best movie ever, but now that is being called into question. The 1941 movie has long boasted a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. But after the folks at Rotten Tomatoes did a little Jason Show research deep dive into the movie archives, guess what, Kendall? They found a negative review of the movie. Apparently, those horrible people at the Chicago Tribune ran a negative review after the movie's initial release, saying it fails to impress. Rotten Tomatoes has since downgraded the movie to a mere 99% fresh. And that means movies like The Terminator, Toy Story, and Paddington 2 are technically better than Citizen Kane.
I mean, Toy Story was pretty good.
Paddington Bear 2 better than Citizen Kane?
Ted said he liked it. It was very moving.
Ted doesn't eat frozen pizza. So that's not really selling me on that.
Well.
I don't even like Citizen Kane, and I would still put it higher than Paddington 2.
I think my favorite part of this is that Rotten Tomatoes was clearly also so bored during the pandemic that they were like, let's go into the archives of things from 1941 and see if one bad review was written on this movie.
Kendall for the win on that one.
I mean,
We have a lot more to come, everybody. Go get another cup of coffee, some Tang, some orange juice, grapefruit juice, a mimosa. We'll be back right after this. So much more ahead. Coming up next, for the first time ever, Kendall, Ted, and I are doing an after-work activity.
3, 2, 1, and go.
It's dance fitness class, where only the strong will survive. Then he's already tackled late night. Now Jay Leno is taking on game shows. I talked to the Tonight Show host about You Bet Your Life. And a Wisconsin woman has a beef with bagel bites. That and more when the Jason Show continues.
You make Colin read jokes that you wrote, and he makes you read. I mean, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
We'd call it joke swap.
A joke swap, but I mean, like this. How did that start?
It was actually his idea, which is kind of funny because I thought he was trying to prank me. See, I'm paranoid. I think everything's a prank. I think right now, I think this is all a prank. But he was like, hey, but why don't we do something where like you write jokes for me, I write jokes for you, and we don't know till we get on air. And I'm like, oh, you trying to set me up?
Oh yeah.
So I started thinking of like some really racist things for him to say, because I'm like, you're not gonna get me, you're gonna catch some fire coming in the door.
Yeah, of course.
And then we got on there, and a lot of his jokes were kind of tame.
And just nice, and all yours are.
And all of mine was just like about Rosa Parks. I was like, oh, well, okay, that's one way to do it. But,
I mean, dude, his face, you could just see him sweating. It was like
bright red, and black people love it. It's awesome.
Michael Che, look at his hat. Little Gilligan action there. Michael Che on with Fallon. Another thing similar, same segment, weekend update. Remember when the club, Stefan, his head writer, one of the writers was his best friend, and he would sometimes trick Bill Hader, switch the cue cards live on the air. So Bill would read live, we call it a cold read, on the air, and would have no idea that the writer changed words. You can tell if you watch any of the Stefan segments.
Like,
he can't make it.
Together?
I know. New York's hottest club is... Next on the dish, speaking of Michael Che, some cast members on SNL are not exactly happy with the next host. Recently, you guys heard Elon Musk is going to host SNL, and cast members have taken what we're going to call subtle digs at the gig. Bowen Yang, Edie Bryant, and Andrew, new guy, were among those who posted shade on their Insta stories, questioning the casting decision Elon's going to host on May 8th. I don't blame them. It is weird. We said it when we announced it, when we told you about it here. I don't get the peg. Meaning, like, why? What's the catalyst? Why are you doing it now? I mean, I know the SpaceX rocket went off on Friday, but dude's been in the news for a while.
I know. Well, and all of them had a little different take on it. Like, Edie's was more along the lines of just saying the millionaire thing. Oh, she thinks it's kind of gross that people are so rich, right? And then the other one, I think it was Bone Yang, was like, first, Elon Musk had said, we'll see how live Saturday Night Live is. And he was like, what is that supposed to mean?
Yeah.
And was a little offended by it. But yeah, they've all since deleted all
Yeah,
this.
because I hope, here's what that might mean. I hope Elon Musk doesn't get up there and try to like cuss or something to try to show how edgy he is. How live are you? Well, I'll test you. No.
Right.
There's been hosts that have been booted from that show that have tried that nonsense. I'm not a prude, but don't do that. That's not funny.
Right.
I mean, it's not, You know what else is funny? I read this morning, he was talking about sending humans to Mars. And he was so blasé. He goes, yeah, we're going to put people on Mars by 2026, but, a bunch of people are going to die. I was like, oh, my goodness.
I know.
You're saying the soft part out loud.
Right.
A bunch of people is what he said. Well, yeah, we'll get there by 2026, but you know what? A lot of people.
That's only in like 5 years.
This is really a recruitment thing, too. It's like the last side effect you hear in those prescription commercials.
Right.
Gas, death.
They say it really, 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 really fast at the
Yeah.
end.
Next in the dish, we weren't exactly sure if we needed another streaming service when Discovery Plus launched. I was very skeptical, but just a few months later, it's become one of the hottest streamers out there. The CEO of Discovery talked about its success on my favorite show, CNBC This Morning. Look at this.
Well, we announced today that we have 15 million subscribers already, and that's 10 million subscribers since the end of last year. So we're on a great pace. We're beginning to really scale. But more importantly, people are spending on average about 3 hours with the product. And the churn is at the very low end of all of our competitors. And so we're finding we have a product that people really love. The ratings are great. In the App Store, we have a 4.9 rating with Apple. And so the most important element is we have a great product that people love. And now we're really...
We want to acknowledge, too, we checked the history of our show. This is the first time we've ever run a clip from CNBC.
Ball drop.
We make Ted watch all these shows. He had to watch CNBC to get that clip. That is dedication. Discovery Plus, it includes HGTV, Food Network, TLC, my mother's favorite, Investigation Discovery, Animal Planet, Travel Channel, Discovery Channel, Amish Weekly. I mean, everything. It's all up in there. Well, I say Amish. Half the shows on TLC are about the Amish community.
Breaking Amish.
Breaking Amish, Escaping Amish. I'm a pepper, you're a pepper. Don't you want to be Amish too?
What?
That's a show.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
I had no idea.
No. You know what I'm obsessed with, though, on that channel? There's two things. All of the sister shows, like Extreme Sisters, and then Restaurant Impossible with Robert Irvine. There's like 80 seasons of that show.
I'd watch that with you. All these sister shows. I got sisters. I don't need to watch a show about it.
Robert Irvine, I love his opening. I love a good opening credit. He takes a big hammer to a wall and he goes, "Let's get to work." Scares the crap out of you. Oh, it's best. There's the logo, and then he takes a mallet and he breaks the logo, and he goes, "Let's get to work." It's a
Hot
little
take on
aggressive for a
Discovery
cooking
Plus.
show. What?
Hot take on Discovery Plus.
Yeah?
I don't love it yet. I know. I thought I would too, because I love HGTV. I think it's because Magnolia Network isn't fully on yet, and I'm just a little irritated that I bought this thing back in December thinking that it was on.
Next in the dish, the Flintstones are a little bit older. Fred is on the brink of retirement, and believe it or not, Pebbles is in her 20s. That's the plot for a new animated comedy coming to Fox, The Flintstones. It's a spinoff. It's going to be called Bedrock, and has been developed by Elizabeth Banks, who will also voice the 20-something Pebbles. The series will be set 20 years after the original, as the Stony Age gives way to the Bronze Age. And the people of Bedrock, people don't like change. People do not like change, even in prehistoric times. Here's why I love this.
Yeah.
I love nostalgia. I love classic television. I love the fact that, the Flintstones were the very first animated show in prime time. Before The Simpsons, before Family Guy, there was the Flintstones. So that right there ran from 60 to 66, I believe, on ABC or NBC. Ted will check that. The research team will check that. Anyway, 60 to 66. The fact that they've done movies, they've done all this, that it's coming back to television, the medium where it started, I like it. And according to the articles I read, the executives have said that whatever Elizabeth the Peg, the scripts have been real, fresh, and original. Whatever their take is, they're liking it.
And what I understand is it's for adults, right? It's not like.
Well, the original
totally-
was. Yeah,
Okay.
the original was basically The Honeymooners animated. The Honeymooners with Jackie Gleason. It's basically what it was. It really, it's the creator said that. But this obviously will have a modern take. And Elizabeth Banks is sharp. She does great projects. I believe in her. So
Yeah, I'm excited. I think, when was it, 2019 that they first said that this was sort of in the works with Warner Brothers, and we've all just been waiting.
Well, and Seth MacFarlane had a deal with our network like years ago, but they didn't like the script. So they said, I would have liked to have seen, though, what Seth would have done with the Flintstones, because that would have been interesting. Next in the dish, look, we love Wisconsin. I'm talking to you. I love you. You guys watch us, rain, sleet, snow. Raccoons could be falling from the sky, and you watch us. We have nothing against Wisconsin. But come on. In the central part of the state, a woman has filed a lawsuit because she's disappointed with her Bagel Bites pizza snacks. They write this in a way because they know what makes me laugh, and the fact that I got through that. In the lawsuit, she says the packaging is deceptive. The packaging is deceptive because it does not have real mozzarella cheese and real tomato sauce. She says Wisconsin consumers want real mozzarella because of its soft, moist texture and its milky yet tangy taste. That's in the lawsuit. As my best friend Jen would say, I just need us to all understand what I just read is in the lawsuit. She also says reasonable consumers would expect the product to have real tomato sauce and not thickeners. It's not clear how much she's suing Bagel Bites for. This is why France hates us. This is why. Can I just say, and I'm sure Dar will back me up.
Yeah.
Pizza rolls I grew up on, which, by the way, producer Ted revealed another thing he's never eaten. He's never put a pizza roll in his mouth. I grew up on pizza rolls and the little Bagel Bites. Nobody comes to Bagel Bites expecting Italy. You don't go, oh, look, this is a pizza. It's a Bagel Bite. We're not expecting Emeril Lagasse.
Do you think this has gotten to the level where I can sign on to this and maybe get like $5 out of the deal?
No, I don't think so. Is it a class action, Jeff? Do we know? Oh, it is. Ted just found it. Oh, it is. I'm sorry. Ted's giving me, it is class action, but unfortunately, I feel like Peter Jennings. Barbara, you have to be from Wisconsin if you would like to join, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, the Bagel Bites class action lawsuit. I love our country. Dear friends, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back right after this. This is one of those pieces that you're getting ready to see that proves we really have no vanity. Dancing in public is not everyone's cup of tea, but a dance fitness studio in Minneapolis wants everyone to feel welcome, and really they do. And it's run by former Timberwolves dancers. Recently, Kendall, producer Ted, and I visited Dance Class with a K to see if we had what it takes.
Doing a sumo squat into a curl and press it up, okay?
I'm excited.
Oh my God. Are you gonna yell at her first, or am I going to yell at her first?
You go first.
Okay, and then you can yell at her. What have you gotten us into?
Grab that resistance band.
Is this gonna make us good dancers?
This will not help you get a date.
Yes, it will.
No, it won't. And can we just acknowledge Kendall is the only one wearing basically appropriate stuff. She looks like she's gonna work out. I look like I'm getting ready to watch Knots Landing on my couch. Ted looks like he's getting ready to go golfing. So all kidding aside, before you kill us with fitness, what is this? What made you want to start it?
There's not a lot of adult dance classes out there, so I wanted to make sure that there was an environment with a judgment-free space, very empowering for adults to come and get their groove on, get their sweat on, and just have a good time.
Now, let's be clear. During the piece that we're doing, there will be a lot of judgment, but just confined to what we're doing.
We want all shapes, sizes, male, female, every type of body, every color, every age, everything. Whatever it is, we want everybody to feel welcome here.
Even Ted?
Even Ted, even Ted. You are more than welcome invited.
Do you want me to actually make you go for 45 seconds, or do you guys want me to just make it quicker and quicker
I think
changes?
you should make us do 40 and say.
So each movement is 45 seconds. You'll be doing it for like 4 minutes straight.
No. Cut.
Yes.
So we were just organizing the piece that you're watching. And we were told that we were going to be doing each of these exercises for 45 seconds.
I was fine with it.
Since my name is on the show, right there, I have vetoed the 45 seconds. We will now be going down to a very nice, pleasant 20 seconds.
3, 2, 1, and go. You have
10,
3.
look, we're coordinated.
Squeezing those glutes at the top.
Squeeze your glutes, Ted.
Good. Remember the next movement is that slider pike, all right?
Oh,
so
hell.
both feet are on your slider. 1 and go. Pike it up. Good, Kendall. Perfect. You can do it. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Nice job.
Oh, God.
We'll wait for Jason here.
Shut up!
Nice, you guys. You guys. 3, 2, and 1. Nice job, you guys.
I can't get out! That says it all right there. We are done. We will not be doing any more.
Everyone ready to dance?
Hold on a minute. We just got a job offer. We just did. We're all gonna be Timberwolves dancers now. Goodbye, Jason Cho.
Oh, God. Kendall and producer Ted joins me now. Ted, you do know that Jeff has already made that dance move of yours into a GIF.
And you know, when I was watching that whole piece, and I'm like, I think I made it through here pretty good until the end.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit before the end.
Oh my gosh. My favorite part of the whole thing was after we were done, I was like, that was pretty hard. You guys did good. And I was like, Ted, were you trying? He's like, no, I was like actually really trying.
I was trying.
Yeah. Ted was trying. No, Kendall, let's call Ted out. You know why Ted was really trying was all of the instructors are successful, gorgeous women.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. Ted, we walk out, Ted goes, they were beautiful. And I'm like, that's why you were trying so hard.
It was just gonna be a Jason shoot, maybe Jason and I was like, hey Ted, wanna meet a bunch of Timberwolves dancers?
I know, Ted has never volunteered to go to a shoot with me.
He was ready.
You throw in some Timberwolves, he's in. Anyway, thanks to the folks at class. It's dance class, right, Kendall?
Class MPLS.
Perfect, thank you, Ted. Get ready for that gift to be spread far and wide, Ted. We're gonna take a break. We'll be back right after this. Back in a moment. Welcome back to the show. By the way, do the Ted. Dun, 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 dun. By the way, thanks to photographer Eric, who did an amazing job editing that piece. That was great. We will be rerunning that until this show goes away. Welcome back. We watch TV to be entertained, right? But many shows do more than that. They really do make us think. BuzzFeed is out with another great list. I'm telling you, 2 in a row, naming the 15 groundbreaking TV show moments that were actually a really big deal when they aired. It includes everything from race relations on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to a lesbian wedding on Friends. So I wanted to highlight a few, especially for youngins out there, they have no idea. So start here. Back in 1952, this episode makes me cry. I Love Lucy featured Lucy surprising Ricky by telling him that she's pregnant. You're thinking, okay, what's the big deal? She became the first pregnant character on a major TV show, even though, listen to this, they weren't allowed to use the word pregnant. They weren't allowed to say pregnant.
Right.
And then people always make the reference, the Lucy and Ricky, they couldn't sleep in the same bed. When you saw the Ricardo's room, they had 2 separate beds. And that followed through. Dick Van Dyke, you could never see the characters sleeping together. I think the Brady Bunch was one of the first, if I think about it. The Bradys, getting it on in that little, that starry little room. Next up, an episode of Star Trek from 1968. Captain Kirk and Lieutenant Uhura kissed in this episode. It was one of the first ever interracial kisses to air on TV and was a huge deal. But, this is what, people, when they think of the legacy of Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry, there's an intellectual quality to that show, and that's making you think about social issues. And that was one of them, way ahead of its time. I mean, way, way, way. Next up, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. In one episode, Mr. Rogers invited Officer Clemens to wash his feet with him in the same pool, taking aim, because you're thinking, okay, what's this? But it was taking aim at segregation laws from the 1960s. Again, it was, and if you watch that great Mr. Rogers documentary that came out a couple years ago, you realize the impact that this simple act and this act on television had. Because think about it, kids learn. And they were learning great stuff from Mr. Rogers, and they didn't even really know it because it made it seem very common. Of course, Mr. Rogers would invite the officer over, Next, the Mary Tyler Moore Show broke a lot of ground in the 70s. I could literally do a whole half-hour special on that, including this moment involving Mary and her parents.
Don't forget to take your pill. I won't.
That was Mary admitting she was on the pill, meaning she was a single woman with a sex life, which was groundbreaking at the time. Even for a show, Mary debuted in 1970 on CBS. And Mary, when they were developing the Mary Tyler Moore Show, they did not want her to be divorced because they didn't want the audience to think that Mary had divorced Dick Van Dyke from the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Oh.
Yeah, little fun fact there. Finally, the Golden Girls. The show was way before its time in several ways, including this scene regarding Blanche's brother marrying another guy.
I can accept the fact that he's gay, but why does he have to slip a ring on this guy's finger so the whole world will know?
Why did you marry George?
We loved each other. We wanted to make a lifetime commitment, wanted everybody to know.
That's what Doug and Clayton want, too. Everyone wants someone to grow old with, and shouldn't everyone have that chance?
Yeah. Tell him, Sophia. During its run, the show took on a lot of social issues, from race to disability to Alzheimer's to AIDS. And I just think that's the 80s. It's 1986, 87. It debuted in 85. That unheard of. And the Golden Girls, one of the things that drove the success was there were gay bars all across the country had Golden Girl watch parties. The viewing audience, they were giant in the gay community. It was, it's groundbreaking. Check out the entire list. It's fascinating on BuzzFeed.com. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Back in a moment.
We asked people, what planet is furthest in our galaxy? So I'm going to give you a hint. It is named after Mickey Mouse's dog. This guy said when he went, Goofy. That's right, sir. It's the Goofy planet. We're going to be doing
7 years after signing off The Tonight Show, Jay Leno is returning to the comedy hosting gig. He's bringing back a famous game show from more than a half a century ago, You Bet Your Life. It's coming to Fox this fall. I got a chance to talk to the late night legend about that show and much more. Take a look. You know, Jay, I'm going to start off you won't remember this, and I know you hate, celebrities hate when people do this, but you might actually remember this. I sat next to you at the Starkey Gala benefit when you hosted about 3 years ago. Tony Blair, it was the weirdest table ever. It was you, Tony Blair, and like Gene Simmons, I think. And it was just the oddest mix of people ever.
Yeah. I once did Merv Griffin. It was me, Gerald Ford, and an astrologer. And I go, Merv, how do you have an ex-president, a comedian, and an astrologer? Which one of them doesn't belong here? Yeah.
It was great. Okay, Jay, for the youngins in the audience that don't remember Groucho, don't remember the original You Bet Your Life, what's the premise?
Well, the premise is two strangers come together to win some money. It was really, when I did The Tonight Show, the whole thing of jaywalking, we're just going out in the street, not picking people, you're not pre-interviewed, just grabbing people at random and asking them questions, really came from watching Groucho. And that's what this is. It's basically jaywalking, but with a comedy game element attached to it. We get two strangers, they meet for the first time when they walk out on the stage. You got Jamal, you got Susan. Okay, you guys are gonna have to work as a team, and they try to win some money, and that's basically what it is. My favorite thing about the show was no politics.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is. When I did the Tonight Show, I sort of prided myself on humiliating, degrading both sides equally, and people seem to like that. But in the intervening years, everything's sort of become, you have to give your opinion, you have to say why you like or dislike it, and it's so divisive now, whereas the idea of this is, I have so many friends I couldn't disagree with more on politics, so we don't discuss politics, and that's basically what we'll do on this show.
I love it, and you're reuniting with Kevin on this, aren't you?
Oh, I love Kevin. Kevin and I have been friends for a long time. And Kevin will call me out when we're on the Tonight Show. He would go, Jay, that's not even funny, and it was so disconcerting that I would actually laugh. And so we just, that's how because it was really organic. Kevin wasn't picked to be a sidekick on the Tonight Show. He's one of the great jazz guitarists of all time. So we had him in the band, and then he would just pipe up and say something. So we just moved him to the forefront, and he became my sidekick for the last 20 years of the show.
Jay, I'm a late night nerd. I know probably too much about late night. So it's an honor to be able to ask you this question. What aspect of the Tonight Show do you miss the most? I think I know the answer, but is it coming out? You didn't have a curtain like Johnny, but is it coming out and hearing the roar of the audience? Is it the monologue? Is it the crafting of the monologue?
It's the monologue.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I would say 85% of the effort went in the monologue because near the end of the run, the last 7, 8, 9 years or so, the monologue was 12 to 14 minutes because there were so many talk shows. Every guest had been everywhere that you want to just get as many laughs in there as you could. So, yeah, the monologue was the most fun for the idea of something happens, you write a joke about it that day, and you get it on the air that night. And then the joke just disappears forever. That was I like the idea of that. It was great fun.
Are you liking the format of this? Because you've done, I mean, you got.
Yeah, I
Garage-
like this because
Yeah.
the show opens with comedy. I don't come out and go, "Hi, everybody. Great to see you all. We have a fantastic time waste." We just come out and we hit it with either funny headlines or something of that nature, something that's timeless, something that will work in any circumstance. You know, that's why I work around the country. Is if something works in Phoenix and Orlando and Minneapolis and you know, in Berkeley, California, it'll work anywhere if it works in all those places. And that's what we have here. That's what's great about doing stuff like headlines. They're just flat out funny without having to figure out whether it's Republican or Democrat or whatever it might be.
How many? You famously went on the road during your entire tenure during the Tonight Show. How many gigs on average, Jay, are you still doing a year?
Well, I mean, this year we didn't do anything, but
Yeah.
Up until last year, we did about 210 a year, something like that.
Oh my!
And that's sort of how you stay sharp. I mean, it's just comedy by repetition. You know, when I started in comedy, I would do my act. I would practice by doing my act and writing a letter with my other hand, so I could compartmentalize and just be able to do that. And that's what's fun about this. You have to think on your feet on this show. There's no what's the next joke? Stop tape. The tape is just rolling, and you go and you do it, and that's what's great fun.
Thank you, Jay. You can catch You Bet Your Life with Jay Leno this fall on Fox. By the way, today is Jay's 71st birthday. Happy birthday, Jay. He and Karen Scullin. Karen is not 71, though. She's 24. She's not that. But anyway, we'll be right back. Stay with us, everybody. Age has value. You know, a little programming note. Daily watchers will know, we've talked to Jay before. During the trial, we were on our sister station, so a lot of great stories ran. Wasn't on our main station. You may see a couple of those replayed so that more folks can enjoy them. So that's why we replayed that one. Hey, don't forget to sign up and be a part of the virtual audience. Go to our Facebook page. Just search for Jason Show TV. Click the link we posted. It's right there at the top. Sign up. We do audiences on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday usually. So let us know what day you are available and have fun with us. In my hand, it is the magical, mystical bubblegum goodbye question. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite time of day and why? The answer when we return. Back in a moment. Welcome back. It is time for the bubblegum goodbye. What is your favorite time of day and why? Ladies first.
When I'm not working, since we work really, really early in the mornings.
Yeah.
I really like in the morning around 6:30, whenever the sun is up and it's just coming in through my kitchen windows. Have a cup of coffee. Everyone's kind of chill. It's still really quiet outside.
I'm with you. I'm on the weekends. It's Saturday morning at like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
We go get coffee. I love that. And then during the weekdays, though, after my nap, I always look at my life divided into kind of two parts. Every day is two parts. You know, I have this part.
Yep.
And then after the nap is kind of like Wednesday part 2. I really do think of it that way.
Mhm.
I love right when I wake up, it's like, okay, it's 3. I'm going to go outside, go for a walk.
Hang out with the dogs.
Build a doghouse, something, you know, whatever I'm doing. I don't know what, I
Right.
don't really do that.
No, he
But
doesn't
anyway,
build a doghouse.
I don't really build a doghouse.
No, it's true. I also love Fridays, like, favorite time of the week. Absolutely, when you get off work on Friday
Yes.
and it's time to like start thinking about your weekend plans, you know, the whole weekend ahead of you.
I'm getting my 20s ready for pull tabs. I'm just laying them out. I'm like, okay.
Getting them in the right
There's this, budgeting that out. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Anyway, again, I'll end how I began. Again, a happy birthday to Karen Scullin. I love her in a business that sometimes goes like this. To age. You know, people are dismissed because they, God forbid, they get over 30. Karen excels, and she's an adult and a great journalist, and I love her. Happy birthday. And happy birthday to Jay Leno.
Happy birthday.
He's an adult, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is a grown man.
He is a grown man. And again, I got the story wrong. The Starkey Gala, where I sat at the table, I don't know who I said Gene Simmons. It was actually Alice Cooper, Jennifer Garner, Johnny Depp, former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. That was my table. Alice Cooper talking to former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, and then the Mathesons. And the little song went in my head. One of these things ain't like the others. What the hell am I doing at this table? Tomorrow on the show. Late night warm-up guy and our good buddy, Paul Mercurio, will join us. He's back. Plus, Lindsay Gensel is making Moscow mules. That's tomorrow. But right now, if you're watching and you're a kid that's being bullied, you go out there and be yourself because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Have a great day, everybody. Be nice to each other. Be safe. We'll see you tomorrow.